Welcome, honorable guests, Miss Sophie Mann. Chief Williams is not here yet. Mr. John Ewart, Mayor and Councillors-elect, special guests, staff, and the general public to the 19th inaugural meeting of council for the Corporation of the Township of Lake Bays. Can everybody hear me? Perfect. I hereby call the meeting to order. We recognize that we gather here on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe and the Haudenosaunee nations, acknowledging we are settlers here. We make our homes today on land bound by Treaty 13. It is through the long stewardship over thousands of years and the forced sacrifices of the original inhabitants that we are able to make this beautiful place our home. The ongoing stewardship of the environment is a legacy we must strive to treasure and preserve. We invite everyone to investigate the findings of the Truth and Reconciliation Committee and the treaties that still bind all of us, so that we may share in this land with honor and respect, learning from one another and listening to their story so we may better grow together because it is our collective history. Miigwech. Join me in welcoming Sophie Mann, a very talented grade 7 student who will be singing O Canada for us today. Everyone, if you can rise if you can, please.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. God's ombros se porte le peya, il se porte la qua. Tony stuole tu le popeya, de glublia s'exploit. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you, Sophie. You have such a beautiful voice. Thank you so much for being here and sharing in our special day. At this time, I would like to introduce Mayor-elect and council members-elect. Please stand as I introduce you. Mayor Terry Glover. Representing Franklin and Sinclair wards as District and Area Councillor, George Anderson. And representing McLean Ward, Jacqueline Godard. It is with great pleasure I hereby call upon the Township Solicitor, John Ewart, to administer the declaration of oath, a declaration of office to Mayor and Council members-elect and present the chain of office.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Your Worship, members of Council, I'd ask you to raise your right hand while I administer the oath. Do you solemnly promise and declare that you will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of your knowledge and ability? Do you solemnly promise and declare that you have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner?
I do.
Do you solemnly promise and declare that you will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act?
I do.
Do you solemnly promise and declare that you will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty the King Charles III?
I do.
And do you make the solemn promise and declaration, conscientiously believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath?
I do.
Members of council, I invite you to seat. Your worship, I'd ask you to remain standing while I place upon you the chain of office. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations. Thanks very much.
Council, we would ask you to now please sign your oath located in your blue folder in front of you. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating your inaugurated members of council. Mayor Glover, I now hand the meeting over to you to introduce department heads and to deliver your inaugural address.
Well, thank you very much, Gary, and welcome to everyone, friends, neighbors, and staff, and certainly all our dignitaries today. I'd like to also recognize a number of folks that are here today. Former chair of the district, John Klink, is in the back. District councillor, former from the town of Huntsville, Tim Withy. And I'd also like to recognize newly elected, oh, it's tomorrow, sorry, Rick. Scalia, his worship from the town of Bracebridge, Rick Maloney in that row. And I also wanted to mention former councillor from Township of Lake Bay's, Ginny Burgess. She's in the back, and I promised her she could take her chair with her when she goes. She asked about it. It's the broken one, right, Rick? So I want to certainly congratulate everyone, and I want to introduce the department heads. I didn't read this little part. Carrie, sorry. Blue folder in front of you. We covered all that, right?
Yeah, just the department head.
Beautiful. Okay, thank you very much. Firstly, our Chief Administrative Officer, Brian Brown. Next up is our Director of Corporate Services Clerk, and Carrie and her whole team put this together for us today. Next, I have our Director of Finance and Treasurer, Patricia Allen. Patricia budgeted the money for it. And then our Director of Building and Bylaw Services, Stephen Watson. Our Superintendent of Public Works, Steve Peace. Our Superintendent of Parks and Facilities, Boom Boom Scott McKinnon. Our Fire Chief couldn't be here, but our Deputy Chief Paul Kalea is here. And our CEO Librarian Kathy Fairburn. Welcome. So once again, thank you so much for joining us today. Thanks to staff for putting this together, and thanks to all our special guests for your attendance. I want to thank my mother for her support and wisdom. I want to thank my wife for her incredible enthusiasm for all my crazy ideas. Finally, thank you to my family and campaign team for everything you've done for me. I'm truly blessed. Councillors, I want to thank you for your support. You had a very challenging term of council. We agreed most of the time, but we put the public interest first all of the time. And I never heard anyone complain while we all adapted to Zoom and found the unmute button. We solved issues and debated for a couple of years from our homes, sometimes in our pajamas. That's supposed to be funny, I don't know. Okay, stroke that if we ever do this again. We kept the business of the town moving and tackled thousands of issues. I'm sure there were times when you needed to know more, as I did. I appreciate your dedication and all the extra time you spent with more challenging demands and a very difficult term of council. Thank you. Yes. Next up, I wanted to recognize John Klink. John recently stepped down from his position as district chair, and I want to thank John for his leadership. I want to say when I was really challenged early in this term, John not only helped me, but he also gave me advice and guidance that I will forever be grateful for. John, you're always welcome for a coffee or a chat. The people of Lake Bays thank you for your dedication and leadership. I'm honored and grateful to once again be elected your mayor. Thank you. I can safely say this last term of office was a wild ride. Flooding, tornadoes, significant wind events, ice storms, the pandemic, and the polarization on social media were a few of the identifiable challenges. More than these, the challenges for everyone from healthcare to emergency services and the many businesses that will never recover was truly significant. We had a term that we'll never forget. I'm most proud of the way in which our council and staff conducted our response to this pandemic. At one point, we had emergencies happening within emergencies. We remained calm. We had no playbook. Councillors volunteered with vaccine and testing duties, delivering food and drug supplies, monitoring food banks, and in some cases, carried on simple acts of kindness that helped our residents get to the other side. Residents, staff, and council got through this together. We faced incredible challenges and kept on going. I have learned to never say it could get worse. I have learned that limits can be tested every day and then tested again. I've learned to be optimistic and look for the good in people because it's there. It's always there. I've learned that by working together with residents, staff, and council, we can accomplish great things. This next term of council will have challenges, accomplishments, and gifts if we look for them. The future is bright. I'm very optimistic, but we have work to do. I hope to complete the many projects we've started. Some are big and physical, and others are more about personal and professional growth for the entire township team. My wish is to continue to search the agenda for creative and innovative solutions. I'm prepared to face greater challenges than the last term. I'm confident that we have the right people in place to set the bar even higher. I believe in the spirit of Ubuntu. I took this from our NBA champion Raptors playbook. It's an ancient African word meaning humanity to others. It's often described as reminding us, I am what I am because of who we all are. Our last inaugural was 4 years ago. I pointed out then how quickly a term can pass. Council, if you have a major project you want to accomplish, my advice is to get started today. None of us can predict where the next term will take us. Finally, the pandemic was difficult and everyone still holds some anxiety and resentment, and we have yet to feel confident that we can move forward. My hope for all of us, staff, council, and the residents of Lake Bays is to count your blessings and listen to each other with respectful focus. Collectively, we can move mountains. We've proven that. I ask you all, find the delight in everything you do. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Glover, for that address. Very quickly, that adjourns the 19th Inaugural Council meeting. Again, congratulations to all members of Council for the 2022 to 2026 term.